The city glittered beneath the bright morning sun, but inside the glass walls of one of its tallest office towers, success felt strangely empty. Every magazine praised billionaire CEO Rowan Mercer as the man who had everything: wealth, power, respect, and a business empire that stretched across continents. Yet every evening he returned to a silent penthouse where no laughter echoed through the rooms, no family waited for him, and no warm embrace reminded him that life was about more than profits and prestige. When his younger sister secretly arranged a blind date, insisting that it was finally time for him to stop hiding behind board meetings, Rowan reluctantly agreed. She promised the woman was a successful fashion model who matched his lifestyle. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to hope that maybe fate had finally remembered him. Before we continue this unforgettable story, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Kindness Hub if you believe kindness, compassion, and second chances can completely change a person's life. On the other side of the city, Maris Hale was beginning another difficult day. She was a 29-year-old single mother raising her 6-year-old son, Finn, after losing her husband to a tragic construction accident 4 years earlier. Since then, every sunrise had become another battle. She worked mornings cleaning offices, afternoons serving coffee at a neighborhood cafe, and evenings sewing clothes for neighbors just to afford rent and school supplies. Despite the endless exhaustion, she never complained in front of Finn. She smiled through every hardship because she believed children deserved hope, even when adults had almost none left. The blind date happened because of a misunderstanding. Rowan's sister accidentally sent the invitation to the wrong person after mixing up two similar names. Maris almost ignored the message, assuming it had been meant for someone else, but her elderly neighbor convinced her to attend. She reminded Maris that life sometimes opened unexpected doors and that there was nothing to lose by accepting one free lunch. That sunny Saturday, Rowan arrived at a beautiful riverside restaurant expecting to meet a glamorous woman dressed for magazine covers. Instead, he noticed a modestly dressed young mother standing near the entrance, nervously holding the hand of a little boy while apologizing to the hostess for bringing him inside before arranging childcare. She looked embarrassed, graceful, and completely out of place among the luxury cars and designer clothing. At first Rowan assumed she was waiting for someone else. Then she quietly spoke his name. Confusion spread across both their faces. They quickly realized the invitation had gone terribly wrong. Rowan almost walked away. Maris nearly apologized and left, but something about the little boy's cheerful smile stopped them both. Rather than wasting the reservation, Rowan suggested they simply share lunch as strangers who had both been caught in an unusual mistake. Maris accepted only because Finn looked fascinated by the enormous fountain outside the restaurant. During lunch, Rowan found himself listening instead of talking. Maris never asked about his fortune or business. She spoke about raising Finn, stretching every dollar, and believing that honest work still mattered. Rowan, who was accustomed to people trying to impress him, felt strangely comfortable around someone who wasn't interested in his wealth at all. Finn accidentally spilled orange juice across the expensive tablecloth. Maris immediately apologized, embarrassed beyond words. Rowan simply laughed, grabbed extra napkins, and helped clean the mess. It was the first genuine laugh he had shared with anyone in years. After lunch, they parted ways, believing they would never meet again, yet Rowan couldn't stop thinking about them, not because Maris looked like a model, because she looked like home. Days later Rowan quietly visited the cafe where Maris worked. She greeted every customer with patience, even rude ones. She slipped extra bread into the bag of an elderly man who clearly couldn't afford lunch. She comforted a crying child while balancing several orders without losing her smile. Watching unnoticed from a corner table, Rowan realized something remarkable. She carried more grace in worn shoes than many wealthy people carried in designer heels. Meanwhile Maris discovered Rowan's true identity only after searching his name online. She was shocked to learn the quiet man who had shared lunch with her was one of the country's richest CEOs. Embarrassed, she decided never to contact him again. She assumed someone like him belonged in a completely different world, but Rowan kept returning, sometimes for coffee, sometimes just to see Finn doing homework in the corner while waiting for his mother to finish work. Their friendship slowly grew beneath bright blue skies, city parks, weekend markets, and cheerful afternoon walks. Finn quickly became attached to Rowan, who patiently helped him build toy airplanes, taught him how to fly a kite, and encouraged his dream of becoming an engineer. For Rowan, every ordinary moment felt extraordinary. He had attended million-dollar business dinners that meant less than sharing sandwiches on a park bench with Maris and Finn. Not everyone welcomed this growing friendship. Members of Rowan's board believed he was ruining his public image. Several wealthy acquaintances mocked Maris for her modest background, even social media filled with cruel comments after someone secretly photographed them together. Maris quietly stepped away. She refused to become the reason Rowan faced criticism. Without explanation, she stopped answering his messages, she accepted extra work shifts and buried herself in endless responsibilities. Rowan was devastated. For weeks he searched for answers before finally learning that people had humiliated her because of him. Instead of hiding, Rowan did something unexpected. At the company's annual charity celebration attended by investors, reporters, and celebrities, he publicly announced that kindness mattered more than status and character mattered more than appearances. He revealed that the woman who had inspired him to rebuild the company's charitable foundation was not a famous model but a hardworking single mother who showed compassion every single day without expecting applause. The audience fell silent, some applauded, others looked ashamed. Maris watched the speech from home with tears quietly rolling down her cheeks. For the first time since losing her husband, someone had defended her instead of judging her. The following week Rowan visited her small apartment carrying nothing except groceries and a science kit for Finn. He did not bring expensive jewelry. He did not offer luxury vacations. He simply asked whether they could continue being part of each other's lives. Months passed. Together they began organizing community programs that provided school supplies, job training, and affordable childcare for struggling parents. Rowan invested company resources, but Maris designed every project based on real experiences. Employees noticed that their CEO smiled more often than ever before. The once lonely executive who measured success in quarterly profits now measured it in children's laughter, grateful families, and evenings spent helping Finn finish homework around the kitchen table. Then one bright spring afternoon, Rowan took Maris and Finn back to the riverside restaurant where the mistaken blind date had begun. There were no reporters and no photographers, only sunshine dancing across the water. He admitted that he had once believed perfection looked like magazine covers and glamorous lifestyles. Life had proven him wonderfully wrong. The greatest blessing had arrived wearing simple clothes, carrying a tired smile, and holding the hand of a little boy who unknowingly healed a lonely man's broken heart. With tears shining in her eyes, Maris accepted the future they would build together. Finn wrapped his small arms around both of them, laughing as birds soared overhead. Please leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and share one act of kindness that changed your life. Their wedding was held months later in a peaceful garden filled with children from the community center they had helped create. Instead of receiving expensive gifts, they asked every guest to donate books, school supplies, or food for struggling families. Years later, Rowan often smiled whenever people asked how he met his wife. He never mentioned wealth. He never mentioned business. He simply said that the greatest opportunity of his life came from the happiest mistake fate had ever made. And every evening, when he returned home, the silence that once haunted his luxurious penthouse had been replaced by laughter, bedtime stories, family dinners, and the comforting reminder that true riches could never be measured by money alone. They were measured by love freely given, kindness shared without expectation, and the courage to see someone's heart before judging their circumstances. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with someone who believes in love and hope, and subscribe to Kindness Hub for more inspiring stories that remind us that the greatest miracles often arrive in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes destiny doesn't send us the person we expect. It sends us the person we need. The end.